Welcome back everyone, Mudford here. I'm out in the shop today working on the 69 Ford Bronco. I had an earlier video where I installed the Holley Sniper on it. Things have went pretty well. It's been on there for a while, but I just wanted to highlight a few of the problems that I'm having and how we're working through them right now. The first problem that we had, you can see this is kind of cobbled up on the throttle linkage cable. When I put it down here where it's supposed to go, it just seemed like it didn't have enough leverage, and when you would come from a stop and try to go, you'd push hard on the gas pedal and nothing would happen, and then it would just snap on and you'd squeal the tires. And I didn't really like that. Mine's a stick, so it just did not work out very well. So what I did was I ended up extending this out and giving myself a little bit more leverage, and unfortunately now I can't go to 100% throttle according to the throttle position sensor, but it is a lot more manageable to drive, and it's not like I ever drove it at full throttle anyway, so it seems to work out all right now. But I'm still just not impressed with this. Could definitely be designed better by them so that didn't happen. That seems to be taken care of pretty well. I'm happy with it. So on to our next problem that we're having. It seems to be running really rich. It seems to be loading up. The last time I drove it into work and I had to rev it to really get it to run good, it showed on the display that it was running lean. I'm not sure what the problem is, if it is a problem with the oxygen sensor or if it's a fuel problem. It's a weak pump or a bad regulator. That can kind of give you that sort of problem also. This fitting right here is part number EAR AT100199ERL from Summit Racing. Costs $14.45. All I need to do to install this is to disconnect where the fuel line threads into the throttle body, put this in, and then thread the hose barb piece onto this. Before I do that, I'm going to install this piece, which is a Schrader valve, part number EAR-9616SVERL, $7.34 from Summit Racing. I've put some Teflon tape on it. I'm just going to install it like so. I'm going to go put it in my vise and tighten it up. I just have to use a 7mm socket here and loosen the clamp on the fuel line. And then these 6AN fittings will work, 11/16 will work on them. We're just going to put the new fitting in. Fuel line back up. Okay, that's all there is to it. We're in business. Now we just need to hook our fuel pressure gauge up. You can pick one of these up at any auto parts store. Good idea to have if you're going to be turning wrenches on cars, especially with today's fuel-injected engines. Everything hooked up, I'm going to go ahead and turn the key on to prime the pump. Hopefully we'll see somewhere in the ballpark of 60 psi. Okay, it went a little higher than 60, dropped back down to about 50 when it shut off. I'm going to go ahead and run it and see. I think it's supposed to run around 58. Let's see what it does. Looks like it's actually running a little high, running around 65 psi. So 65 psi for both fuel pressure. On to the oxygen sensor. My oxygen sensor right there. Take it out, snap a zip tie, disconnect it. We'll have a look at it and see what numbers we can find on it. Finally got the old O2 sensor out. You can see the threads are kind of buggered up on it. What I ended up doing was cutting the wires, slipping a box end wrench over it, and then using another box end on the open end. Basically the threads were so buggered up, I had to double wrench it to get enough leverage to get it to come out. We'll see how the new one goes in. A big part of my problem is the hole is not angled down. It's right in from the side. It's supposed to be angled down in, but that's really tough to do. I'm planning on redoing the exhaust pipe on this and running it out over here away from the transmission, and then under the floor. It'll be under the floor pan. Probably have to put some kind of a heat shield in. My plan is to have a muffler right under there, back in, and then I'll have the exhaust exit like right there where that circle is. Just have the exhaust stick out a little ways and cut a big hole there with a little bit of space around it. This is the replacement that I ordered from Holley. Okay, I got the new one in. It went in fairly easy. I think the threads still might be buggered up though. Went ahead and zip tied it and hooked it to the connector right there and just zip tied the wire out of the way. I'm going to go ahead and get in now and fire it up and try to get the computer learning, and hopefully this is working better than the old one. It's already running better. When I rev it, it revs right up. It's not bogging at all like it was. You can take it for a drive and see how much better it is. So I've driven this a couple times now, and every time it gets a little better, it's running a lot better than it was. So the new oxygen sensor has fixed it. I'll show you. Before, I couldn't even start this up without touching the gas. Now it fires right up and idles. that's one less thing I have to worry about with the Bronco now. I can move on to the next upgrades I want to do, like the exhaust.